This is episode 90 of the After Gambling Podcast, and we are going to answer one of the frequently asked questions, which is, what do we do with all of this time after we stop gambling? Hey there, and welcome to the After Gambling Podcast. My name is Jamie. I am a former problem gambler. Now I haven't gambled since July 15th, 2010, and I do this little podcast to help other people that are on a similar journey trying to quit gambling, just trying to improve their life in any way, or are looking to get information about problem gambling, compulsive gambling, gambling disorder, how many other things you call the same thing. We all know what it is, right? We don't need to figure out a new term for it. We know what it is, and we are just here to try to address it, and that's what I try to do. So glad to have you here with me as I kind of kick off some new episodes. As promised, this is on October 28th when this is going live. And yes, I'm going to commit to getting out new episodes every week. So if you don't see those, let me know. But we'll get some kind of ready to go. And so you will have something new to listen to heading into the weekend each weekend. Now today, this topic is one that, as I said in the intro, it is one of the frequently asked questions of problem gambling. Or on the Reddit especially. It's like, what do we do with all this time? Because I think we start to realize, like, all of a sudden when we stop gambling, we have this amazing amount of time on our hands. Because all of that time spent thinking about how we were going to gamble, planning out the bets, planning out who we were going to bet on, what we were going to bet on, when we were going to be able to escape and get away and hide it all away. Or just that, hiding it. How many times do we spend all this time hiding the money, shuffling money? There were just all these things before we started to go gamble. Then while we were gambling, we had all this time that it just, one more hand, one more round, one more hour. Oh, I'll get there eventually. It just consumes all that time. And then afterwards, how much time do we spend and how much energy do we spend reflecting back on the losses and saying, wow, I should have left. And now I got all these other issues that I have in my life. And we created additional issues that sucked up so much time, all because we were gambling. So it makes sense that when we stop, all of a sudden we're sitting here and we're like, holy moly, what do we do with all this time? And especially early on, because I think there's this uneasiness, this anxiety, this tension that comes with having time and knowing that in the past we used this time to go gamble. So like those gambling thoughts probably just rush in those moments. It's natural. It's a habit that we developed. And so it's hard to break that at first. And we look for other things. What are we going to do? And we often turn to things like the Problem Gambling Reddit or podcasts like this or GA meetings to get those insights. And so I'm going to give you some insights on that today. Now, the other reason I wanted to bring this up is it came back on my radar. I was talking to somebody and they were talking about how they're working with somebody and they stopped gambling, but now they picked up this new habit, which the person was concerned was maybe a little bit better than gambling, but not that much better than gambling. And so they're saying, I don't know, this makes me uneasy. I don't know that they see that they're replacing one bad behavior or one behavior that's not healthy for them. Is probably a better way to say it than a bad behavior, one unhealthy behavior with another just barely slightly less healthy option. And so I think that's the other reason that this is on my mind. And it's something that I guess we'll start off there, which is no matter what we do, when we stop gambling, we're going to fill that time, right? We're going to fill it. It's going to fill up with something, even if it's just sitting around and meditating and doing nothing, which none of us do enough. We all need to commit to that. I sat this morning, it was only like 2 minutes, and my daughter came in. She needed something for breakfast before she went to school. But hey, it was 2 minutes, and it felt amazing because we don't give ourselves enough time to do nothing. But doing nothing is doing something. It is choosing to proactively do nothing in that case, but it's something. And I think that's one thing that we have to realize is that we can never just not replace our time. So this is something that we have to take on and understand that this is something that we have to address, which is we need to proactively decide how we're going to use this time. Otherwise, it's more than likely going to slip away to other people's time or to other things that are not as healthy or is just a little bit less unhealthy for us than gambling. So first thing we got to realize is that this is a choice that we have to absolutely make. We have to set out to make it a point to replace it. Now, before we get into some of the ideas or thoughts on what we can do to replace the time, I first want to come up with a strategy or a method. And this is one that was reminded to me on Twitter I don't remember the handle that put it out there, but this is a technique that's been around for a few decades. It's called the Pomodoro, or the Pomodoro technique. And it's a time management method, I'm reading here from Wikipedia, developed by Francesco Cirillo in the late 1980s. And ultimately, what it was Francesco wanted to work on his time, and he had this timer, kind of a kitchen timer we use for cooking, and it was in the shape of a tomato. So that's why it's a Pomodoro. So a Pomodoro technique, he would set this timer, and he would realize that if he set it for 25 minutes, and he focused on one task for that 25 minutes, that all of a sudden he started to not procrastinate. And as I said in the last one, procrastination is definitely one of those things that sticks with me. And the person that posted on Twitter as an option was like, hey, if you want to stop procrastinating, use the Pomodoro technique. And I was like, a light bulb, reminder, good reminder, something I already knew about. And again, I guess this is why it's important to go over these things, be reminded of these things. But the Pomodoro technique is something that I've used in the past to great success, because it does eliminate out other options. And what you do is you start off your day, and you just write down some of the things that you know you need to get done. And even if you have them in your head, it's important, I think, to get it out and write it down. I do so much better when I write it down. And so you have a list of these things that you need to do. And then you just break it up into chunks, 25-minute chunks. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can just use the top of the hour, bottom of the hour, or half past, depending on where you're from. But just break it up into chunks and decide, okay, this one task. And it can be as simple as in the mornings. Like this morning, I woke up and it was like 5:40 because it was early and my daughter woke me up earlier. But I came downstairs, and so I had 20 minutes or so, and I'm like, I'm going to use this time to start straightening up and getting the stuff in the kitchen ready to make the kids' lunches. And so this is something that I kind of a habit of mine. I like to clean up, get everything ready before we start getting the day going. And so I spent that 20 minutes, and when it hit 6 o'clock, I was done with that. Now, the Pomodoro technique is you do 25 minutes on, and then you take a short break, 5 to 10 minutes. I like the 5 minutes. And again, it doesn't have to be, I used to set a timer, and I got kind of fanatic on that, but that never lasted. But when I just look at a clock and say, okay, it's 2 o'clock, by 2:30, until 2:30, I'm going to work on this task. And at the end of that, in that 2:25 range or wherever it falls, I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk around. But there's importance in that, which is breaking it up and taking a little bit of time, separating ourselves from that task before we dive back in, either to continue that task if we need more time on it, or into something else. And then ultimately, I think Francesco talks about how every 2 hours or so, he would take a longer break, 20, 30 minutes to do something to get away. But this is a technique, again, and as it was framed, as a great way to address procrastination. And it's also a great way to focus. And I think those two things go hand in hand, especially for people like us that tend to get really kind of focused in and overly focused. We can go so deep on one topic to the exclusion of so many other things, just like we do with gambling. And so in our day-to-day lives, it's important to have balance. And one way we can do this is by separating and breaking these things down into these 25-minute chunks of very focused work. Turn off Twitter, turn off the email, turn off all these outside distractions, and say, I'm just going to focus on this one thing. For me, it's going to be, I'm going to record this podcast. I don't need to do the whole thing, but I need to sit down and do the recording in this next 25-minute segment. When that's done, take a break, do something different. Now, for me, I'm at a standing desk, but if you sit, I think that would be a good thing to get up and walk around. But if you're standing or whatever, then the opposite might be true. It might be good to just sit, maybe do a little bit of meditation, go for a walk, go get a drink of water, use the restroom if you have to. Use that break, but just move around. And it's, again, just going to kind of create these space between these working segments. And I was just so excited when I saw that yesterday. It was kind of like a perfect timed light bulb that popped up because I knew I wanted to do this episode today. And I knew I wanted to work on procrastination. And it was this method that I've tried before, but I just had stopped using. Like I say, how many times? And I think that's going to be the theme of this season, is a reminder of all the things that work, and just trying to recommit to so many of those things, because it's amazing. We know all these things, and we have all these wonderful things that we've tried out, and it's like, wow, that really works for me. And then you ask yourself the question, so why did I stop? And so many times I don't have a great answer. So Pomodoro technique is a great one, a great strategy. I encourage you to use it. Let me know how it's working for you. It's something that I'm going to be using. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a minute by minute perfect execution. But in general, if we do those and get more into that, when I do that 25 on, 5 off, 25 on, 5 off, and do 2 or 3 or maybe 4 and then take a break and go for a 30-minute walk, amazing things happen. Now, obviously, you have your own schedule. You have to fit it into your life, but there's flexibility there. Make it work for you. So hopefully that is a strategy that can help you with procrastination, get more done, get some momentum going, get feeling good about yourself, and also start to fill time by doing the things that matter. So now on to what else can we do? Obviously, I use that for work. So in our work day, I think that's a good way to get more done, become more successful, kind of definitely fill that work void that we have. And I think that's an important one because we know that the money is such a big part. And while we look back and we know it's an emotional problem, there isn't a financial problem. So working and kind of being successful in our jobs, I think is a good place to really start using that Pomodoro technique and to start filling some of that time that we had. It's kind of a good way to get away from the gambling, away from the easy stuff, but also commit and kind of recommit to furthering our careers. And so I think that's the first place I would definitely suggest maybe looking to, if you're looking to fill time, is learn some new skills that are close to your work. Stuff that if it's not exactly, maybe it would definitely enhance your work, make your work a little bit better. And so that would be something I would look to. So if it's learning new computer skills, learning new software, taking some kind of course, watching some videos on YouTube that's from your industry or near industries to just really kind of enhance your day-to-day. So I think that can do a lot. It can help us get promoted and make us grow in our jobs and be more successful there, which is going to be ultimately, let's cut through it. It's needed. We need to recover some of the money. It's not, and that's maybe the wrong word to say, recovering the money, but we need to get on a better track with money and to get ourselves moving through the gambling time so we don't turn back to gambling. Hopefully that makes sense. But beyond work, I've been fascinated. Somebody I know, they're dating somebody new, and this person is really into cars, like racing cars. And I don't know, that's just something that I had never really thought of. It's not on my radar. But I sat there and as I saw just how into it they were and how much they enjoyed and how much it brought just kind of joy to their life, their cars, it made me realize just how many damn things there are out there that we can become interested in. And ultimately, gambling was one of those things. We have an endless number of things, from sports to hobbies to interest, whatever classification you want to put them in. Music is a huge one. And just within music, right? You can play music. You can listen to music. You can write music. Can perform in a band. There's so many things. There are endless possibilities out there. And so I think one of the things is when we're stopping gambling is to, one, go back to the things that we know we enjoy. I know I've talked about that before. For me, it was like golf and sports and some of those things. But also be open and willing to go try new things. Because I think creating some of those new pathways, both in our minds and our lives, it can be really healthy for us. So challenge yourself to go get out of your comfort zone, try new things, experiment with new things, try new restaurants, even if it's as simple as that. We went to a new restaurant that, new to us, a restaurant that's been around and established and has a great reputation. We finally made it there. We've been talking about it for a while. We went there for brunch and it was amazing. And it was new and different and exciting and fun. So there are plenty of things that we can do that are new and different and kind of fulfill that need that we have, but also just fill some time. So again, try different things. Pickleball is a huge one. It's growing in popularity. I was talking to somebody today and they're going to try pickleball, but from sports to exercise to movies, I don't know. I mean, I just encourage you to try something different, new. See what your friends like, see if there's any suggestions, and then be brave enough to just jump on in and try it for a little bit. If you don't like it, no biggie, you can go on to something else. But I do think gambling just consumes so much of our behaviors and so much of our time that it's important for us to then branch out and start to like kind of break that bond by seeing that there are all these other things. Because even if you don't fall in love with something right away, there's going to be things that you like about it. And just the freshness, the newness of it, I think is something that really is going to really kind of be a draw at first. And ultimately, you're going to meet new different people or some of the same old people that you want to reconnect with. But just encourage you, try some new things. I I don't even know where to start, because that one with cars, that was just an industry, like completely different thing. I mean, within automotive, you can learn how to fix up new cars, or maybe there's things around the house you want to fix up, or I don't know, endless things. Go on YouTube. I mean, look at all the people that create YouTube channels around a very specific thing. My son watches these videos about people playing video games, and I know a lot of kids do that now. And there's tons of those. I had one with cooking. There was a guy, all he does is cooking cast iron skillets. And it was all the things you want to know about cooking in cast iron. And that is just such a rabbit hole of information. But I got a cast iron skillet. I'm like greasing it up, learning how to cook different things, trying things. The eggs stick, then they don't stick, and you get excited. New stuff, different stuff. Just encourage you to try anything. Be open to new experiences. And use the Pomodoro technique, right? Same thing. As you're doing this, say, hey, I'm going to do this for 25 minutes. Allow yourself to dive in deep, block out the excess. And I really think those two things in combination can really help to guide us through not only the days or weeks immediately as you're starting to stop gambling, but for a lifetime to go. It's plenty of opportunities. I think it's just the perfect 1-2 punch of creating very focused attention on a topic. So you go beyond. I know for me, like 25 minutes, sometimes I'll allot it. And even like the cleaning is a good one. I'm like, all right, well, I got all this stuff cleaned. And instead of going to the next thing, all of a sudden now I'm like going a little bit deeper, like doing some of that deep cleaning that you need to do from time to time. But normally it's just, without a set time, you'd move on to the next task, I think we can get into that habit of just doing almost the minimum. And sometimes I don't think I'm lazy. I'm doing a lot of things, but I'm not as deep into any of them. And it all just kind of feels surface level. It doesn't feel as complete as when I focus amount of time and go beyond. And so I think that's really the value of that Pomodoro technique. And applying that to golf, I definitely saw the benefits of that. I would spend deep time just like practicing. Okay, how's this putting stance feel versus this one? When we allow ourselves that deep exploration, I think that's kind of keeps us grounded in the moment. And we've talked about depression, anxiety is thinking too much in the past or too much in the future. And when we do this deep work, it keeps us focused in the moment. So combination, trying new things, revisiting old things that we enjoy, and deep work, I think can be a real good combination along with those breaks. The breaks are key. I think looking back at my gambling, I had no breaks. It was just constant at the poker table for long, long stretches. And over time, I think that's really what got me in trouble, along with other things. But we can't go back and change it, but we can learn from it, grow from it, and move forward. So hopefully this has been something that will inspire you to try out some new things. Give that Pomodoro technique a try. I think it's something you'll really like. I'm going to try it out, revisit it, bring it back into my life, because it is something that I know it was so good. The work I was doing was so good when I was doing it. And then I can't put my finger on why I stopped, when I stopped, any of those things. But again, this is the value of being open to new opportunities, always looking and seeing what works for other people. These things, you're like, hey, I remember that. It works out well. Let's bring it back. So that's all I got for you today. Remember, I am just a guy that shares his experience for informational purposes only. So please go see professionals. There are plenty of professionals out there, specialized professionals too. That's the cool thing it's not cool that gambling addiction is a thing, but it's cool that there are more specialists that better understand it today than they ever did before. And I think the internet's a big part of that. And so go out and really take advantage of those specialists and let them help you in ways that will just expedite your recovery and growth beyond gambling, life after gambling. And then finally, the music for the show is Something Elated by Broke for Free and is licensed under the Creative Commons license. As always, thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.